Hi. Are your hands dry too? This thing on. Hello. My hands are so dry. I do. I've got my mama bear slippers on that my daughter's got me. Oh, mama Bea. Oh, I got to do more yoga. It's tough. What we're talking about today. Have you ever called an inanimate object a jerk? I called my blow dryer a jerk today. No. Hey everybody, welcome back to Books Yada Yada. I'm Dina and thank you so much for watching my channel. So today what I wanted to do is something completely different than what I normally do. And I have to give credit, I have to give a shout out to the person who gave me the idea for this. The channel is called Liz Reads. Her name is Liz or Lisa, Alyssa. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. I'm going to link her channel down in the description box below. She has a phenomenal channel, you guys, and she does this great thing where she goes onto Goodreads. She lets Goodreads kind of choose her TBR. So she like sails around Goodreads and does like a screen recording of Goodreads while she's describing these books. So that kind of gave me an idea, because you guys know how much I struggle and hate reviewing books, that what we could do is maybe go into Goodreads and read my review of certain books that I've read, and then read other people's review, from the 5-star reviews to the 1-star reviews. I thought that would be something different to do. I thought it would be a lot of fun. So again, thank you, Liz Reads, for kind of steering me in the direction of a Goodreads themed video. If you guys like this, comment down below. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. One book, one review today, and that is The Dead Season by Tessa Wager. Now, I did go over this a little bit in my last video. It started turning into a review, not on purpose. I wanted to space out my reviews, so I'm not doing multiple reviews in one video. This is the book that we're going to be discussing today, and we are going to be journeying into the land of Goodreads. I feel like Mr. Rogers. Where's the trolley? Hey, boys and girls, join me in the land of Goodreads. Hey guys, I'm down here. So one thing I do want to say is that you're going to notice the audio quality and the screen quality, or the visual quality, I should say, is going to be a little different than normal, because I am using my laptop to film, and the internal mic, for some reason my little mic doesn't seem to want to work with my computer. So that's okay. I hope you can deal with it. You might hear some background noise. I have the office on in the background here, so that you might hear some of that, but I'm going to try really hard to edit that much out, because I like to have background noise. My husband is in his office, which is across the large hall area we have here, so I just wanted to make sure that he can't hear me. And then I can't hear him either. So anyway, all right, let's get to the meat. And we're talking about The Dead Season. So I touched on this in my last video, but I'm really quickly going to read, the synopsis. So this is the second book in the Shana Merchant series. So the first book was Death in the Family. I'll insert the cards above for that review. This is The Dead Season. So it's Shana Merchant #2 by Tessa Wager. It has a 3.98 rating so far, which is really good. This was released on December 8th, I believe, and that is out of 176 ratings, 78 reviews. This is fast becoming a very popular series. It's a small amount of reviews, but that's pretty good. We'll see how, if it stays there, that rating might drop a little bit. Those of you who aren't been on Goodreads for a while probably know how that works. Anyway, so senior investigator Shana Merchant has spent years running from her past, but she never imagined a murder case would drive her to the most dangerous place of all, home. After leaving the NYPD following her abduction by serial killer Blake Bram, Shana Merchant hoped for a fresh start in the Thousand Islands region of upstate New York. Her former tormentor has other plans. Shana and Bram share more than just a hometown, and he won't let her forget it. When the decades-old skeleton of Shana's estranged uncle is uncovered, Bram issues a challenge. Return home to Vermont and solve the cold case, or the blood he spills next will be on her hands. See, I can't find the camera. supposed to be looking there. As Shayna interviews members of her family and the community mining for secrets that could help her solve her uncle's murder, she begins to realize how little she remembers of her childhood. And when Bram grows impatient and kidnaps again, leaving a trail of clues, Shayna alone cannot understand. She knows his new victim will only survive if she wins the psychopath's twisted game. In order to solve one mystery, Shayna must wade into her murky past to unravel another. So this was a pretty good book. It was, again, the sequel to the first book. I have to tell you right up front that I enjoyed the first book much more than I enjoyed the second book. And here is why. I'm going to read you my review. Now, I wrote this review pretty much right after I finished the book. So I said, the good. I love Shayna Merchant. Great writing. The ugly. I wish Wager would have waited a few books into the series to introduce us to Shayna's hometown. I really loved the first book, and this was the polar opposite. Different setting, Vermont, don't get me wrong, I love Vermont and spent half my life there. And Wager was spot on with the Vermont. There is a Vermont vibe, believe it or not. I know, you wouldn't think there'd be a Vermont vibe, but there is.
I'll never forget that cow, never.
Cows can be dangerous, they'll chase you around, you know?
Some cows can.
Anyway, so however, I was really looking forward to another Thousand Island setting, and this book didn't measure up to Death in the Family. Oh, and where was Tim? He's barely in this one. God, it's really weird reading your own review. I will definitely continue with this series because Shayna Merchant is a sassy, strong personality and really likable. Okay, so that last part there, yes, Shayna Merchant is a great character, you guys. She's strong. She's, like I said, smart. She's sassy. She's a strong woman. But what I didn't care for in this book was that Tessa Wager shifted book 2 immediately into a completely different formula than the first book. And I think I don't know, and this is just my opinion, the first few books kind of stick with the same formula because that first book, right, that hooked you is what keeps you going and wanting to read the books that follow that first book. So what happened here was that she kind of took us out of the closed room, locked door mystery, Agatha Christie style setting that was in the first book and completely took us out of that formula of writing and then took us out of the atmosphere as well into Vermont. It was really kind of weird and I was not expecting that. I was expecting basically another Thousand Islands murder mystery because it was such a cool location, you know. I think that she should have waited until maybe the 4th or the 5th book to take it into a different formula. So enough of me. I want to read some of what the other people, Chelsea Humphrey, she is a really popular Goodreads reviewer. So I want to read hers because her and I definitely agreed. She gave it 3 stars as well as I did. She says, I was really hoping for another 5-star Shayna Merchant read. But for me, this one just wasn't as enjoyable as the first. I'll be the first to admit that my rating is completely subjective and mostly due to personal preference. The writing is once again excellent, but I think I was more drawn to the locked room, Agatha Christie-esque nature of Death in the Family than the family drama presented in book 2. The pacing in the first half of the book was on the slow side, but once we were able to break the halfway point, things sped up, and I found the mysteries at hand to be both engaging and enjoyable. Also, for those who enjoy listening, the narrator was wonderful and really added a level of commitment from me as a reader. While this wasn't my favorite in the series so far, I love what Wager has done with these characters and will definitely be in for the 3rd installment. So I agreed with her completely. She wrote a review that was much better than mine, but my sentiments exactly. Chelsea Humphrey, thank you for writing that great review. I'd like to get to a 5-star review, just to be partial here. A lot of these are people who got arcs of the book, so I want to find somebody who gave it 5 stars without having received an arc. Okay, all right, we've got one. Here's a good one. This is a nice short sweet 5-star non-arc review. So Amanda says, the Shayna Merchant series is everything I love. A strong female protagonist, specifically a police detective. Shayna is smart, strong, and feisty, and the Dead Season is definitely an amazing sophomore novel for Tessa Wiegert. This series is rapidly becoming a must-buy for me. So I agree with her completely. Shayna Merchant is a great character, and that's why I'm definitely going to keep reading these. But let's go to a 1-star rating, you guys, because I want a balance here, right? So we've got a 1-star rating. So Mia gave it 1 star. And she says, I liked the first in this series. The protagonist is interesting, and I liked the locked room style mystery. I did not like this one. I could not agree with Mia more. The protagonist is the same, but the mystery became a psychopath taunting the protagonist and playing games and nonsense that I just did not enjoy. Wow, did I write that? Mia, I feel like you're my Goodreads soulmate. Exactly. So there you have it, you guys. Some of the reviews I read that were 5-star and 4-star reviews all said the same thing, where a lot of the people didn't read the first book. They thought that the second book was a standalone and they just picked it up and they loved it. But having read the first book and then reading the second book, again, being taken away from that locked room, closed circle setting, it really just didn't work for me in this book. I will continue to read her books, though. She is a great writer. She really is a phenomenal writer. She writes a great character in Shayna Merchant, and I'm definitely going to continue with this series. So basically, you guys, that is the Dead Season. That is what takes place in this book, and it was good. Very atmospheric. I think it would have been done better maybe in the 4th or the 5th book in the series. So I'm going to give it my old gift rating, you guys. So ready? Here we go. So what did you guys think of that? I thought that was pretty fun. It's a different way of sort of, not watching my face the whole time, but I think that Goodreads is an interesting thing, and I'm using it more as a tool now that I have created a booktube channel than I ever did before. Before, I didn't write a lot of reviews. I did sometimes, and sometimes I would just give a review or give a star rating for a review. But now that I've created a booktube channel, I have noticed that I've been a little bit better about actually writing reviews on Goodreads. I'm not a writer, I'm a reader. So I write very short reviews on there. And sometimes I write a review immediately after reading the book. And I might have said this before. That's not such a good thing sometimes. And I've learned by watching BookTube and getting other people's ideas and opinions on certain books that has sometimes swayed me when it comes to whatever book it is that I either read or plan to read. And I think that's a good thing, because for the longest time, I always went with my gut intuition, and I always do first and foremost. But sometimes I think it's good to get other people's perspectives on certain things and other people's opinions, because it helps you to really round out the reading experience when someone else makes a point where you might have missed and you go, oh, yeah, that's true, right? So I thought this was a good way of sort of, not only for me, but for you, of doing that, if that makes any sense at all. I'm so roundabout about everything that I say. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you think of this whole Goodreads journey. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you the next time. I just winked. Oh, God, that's such an old person thing to do. My Uncle Henry used to do that all the time. Be like, hey there. What did he call me? He had a nickname for me. Hot Ticket. He'd be like, you're a hot ticket there. I can't remember which eye he used to use, but you're such a hot ticket. Yeah. He was born in 1933. So, Depression era kid. The Greatest Generation. He was older. They used some really, really, really strange. Although I do kind of like hot ticket. That's kind of fun. And Corker. Corker was another one. She's a real corker. You're a real corker. I meant a funny person. You don't hear that stuff anymore. I don't know. It's funny. Anyway, bye.